You are now listening to Rings Kings Boxing World Flash Report.
All right, let's move on to the next article right here. Turki Alalshikh fuels speculation of a Canelo versus Crawford fight. Now listen, Alalshikh is a dude that has made a lot of really good fights happen. And he's proclaimed, I'm not doing it for the people, for the fans or whatever. I'm doing it because we're trying to make money. And that's fine, you know what I'm saying? But you need the fans to pay for the fight, my friend. You need that to happen. So you might not want to be so arrogant talking to the rest of the world. It probably leads you to would endear you more to people if that is indeed the mindset, because we both have shared interests here. We love what Saudi Arabia is doing. I love what Saudi Arabia is doing. A lot of these fights wouldn't have happened without Saudi Arabia, and I salute them for getting involved here. Because if it wasn't for their venue and because of their money and their influence, a lot of these fights wouldn't happen. We just would be disgusted. Like if we had Turki Alalshikh 5 years ago, we would have had the AJ and Deontay Wilder fight. We would have had that one. We would have had some of these fights a lot earlier. You know, that would have happened. Now they're coming back saying AJ and Deontay Wilder are going to eventually fight. They're out of their primes. Deontay's out of his prime. That's not a fight that we want to see. That was a fight we wanted to see 4 or 5 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, but they couldn't make it happen. The Bud Crawford and Errol Spence fight before it happened 15 odd months ago should have happened years prior. But those rivaling clubs, those networks, all this stuff happened. I wish we would have had him involved in the game, Alalshikh involved in the game. Then we would have got a lot of these fights earlier. So a lot of the fantasy fights that we are seeing that are going to happen over the next year or two is because of the money and the influence of what Turki Alalshikh and Saudi Arabia is doing. And I absolutely salute those guys wholeheartedly for what they're doing. But even though you're not doing for the fan base, as you call the family base, as your support base, we still benefit greatly by the money and influence of what's going on. So with that out of the bag, just saying, this is one of these fantasy fights that only the supporters really are willing to pay for. And this is another one. Turki Alalshikh fuels speculation of Canelo versus Crawford fight. Would you pay for that? Is Crawford? Is Canelo? How would it look? Anyway, let's get into it. Boxing 24 News on it. His Excellency Turki Alalshikh replied to social media posts about possible Mexico versus USA 5 versus 5 event with Canelo Alvarez fighting Terence Crawford in the main event. Now, I remember there's a 5-for-5 going on right now between Hearn and the Queensbury. I want to say the matchup, if y'all correct me in the chat. Going on with Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn's 5 versus 5 tournament, which has, some interesting matchups. Stacey, Deontay Wilder, all that kind of stuff. But it would be a celebrity-esque fight in which Crawford jumps up 3 divisions and is given a title shot on a silver platter against undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez without earning it or proving himself. For Crawford to earn the fight against Canelo in the true sense, he would need to beat David Benavidez or David Morrell, which isn't happening. Crawford would be walking the plank over shark-infested waters if he took on one of those killers, and he's not going to do that. I don't think he will fight. Crawford versus David Benavidez would not happen. That would not be even though I like Crawford's skill, it's just certain things that you're going up all these weight classes, things start happening funny to you, so I won't even address that. But Alalshikh posted a smiling emoji suggesting that he's interested in Canelo versus Crawford fight, asked if it was happening. And this is what he said: the boxing public in the U.S. are eager to see the former 3-division world champion Crawford, who's 40-0 with 31 knockouts, move up 3 divisions to challenge Canelo Alvarez at 60 and 22-2 with 39 knockouts for the undisputed super middleweight championship. I'm not high on the idea of the 36-year-old Crawford putting up a lot of weight and jumping 3 divisions without proving himself at super middleweight or getting acclimated to a 160-pound division. Three divisions to get to him. Granted, 33-year-old Canelo isn't the same fighter in his prime, but he can still punch and take a good shot at the super middleweight level. The only puncher Crawford has faced in his 16-year pro is a post-car crash Errol Spence Jr., who was kind of, we know he was weight drained to a great degree in that fight. Against Crawford, Canelo will step on the gas against him because he's a true welterweight, moving up 3 classes and is not young. So, of course, I guess it doesn't matter. The fight will be targeted as at casual box fans, and it wouldn't be a true sporting event. It'd be like a celebrity match, so the writer writes. But much of the weight jump with Crawford earning and proving himself at 168 makes a fight against Canelo a glorified celebrity match. It would be a one-off event with Crawford going up to the super middleweight for the payday against Canelo and then returning to 154, which is where he intends on campaigning at. So Crawford has filled out and looks good at 154. He's prepared for his August 3rd fight against WBA junior middleweight champion Israel Madrimov in Los Angeles. However, but Crawford still hasn't fought at 154, and we don't know how he'll perform in this weight class against a big puncher like Madrimov. I think he'll beat Madrimov, but he is, and he mentions he is a hurdle. And people say like, man, Q, I don't think Madrimov, he won like 12 fights or something like that, but it's not that. It's the fact that styles make fights. Madrimov is a busy fighter. He has power in both fists. He's an intelligent fighter, but he's still learning and going. And like I said, he's a guy that could surprise you. I don't think he beats Terence Crawford, but I think he makes that fight a lot more difficult than what you could anticipate. Like I said, the guy is 10-0 with 7 KOs. That's what his fight was. And he was able to kind of knock out the guy with the belt, take the belt away from him, because a lot of the fight, like I said, the guy is a good fighter. He's better than, and like I said, he's undefeated with his record, but Madrimov is going to be a pressure fighter that's going to throw some shots and keep Terence Crawford on his toes. I think Crawford ended up eventually beats him, but I think that Madrimov could put some power, put some pain on Terence Crawford, and we'll see how he responds to that. So that's not going to be an easy speed bump fight, no matter how you look at it. But in terms of the Canelo versus Crawford fight, I thought they would meet at a catch weight. That's what I was thinking when this concept was originally thrown out there, that they were thinking about putting this fight out as doing this fight at a catch weight. But now that they're coming out with more information that they want him to go up several weight classes to get to Canelo Alvarez, I don't know about that. And I know Terence Crawford walks around where? I mean, he's fighting at 154. What is his usually walk around weight at? What does he walk around at? Y'all put in this comment section right there, but to go up that high to fight him, that's when things get real sketchy. One class, maybe, but you're going up 3 classes to take on Canelo Alvarez. And we know that Terence Crawford has power too, but where does that power go if Terence goes up to that class? I'm not saying he loses power, but he's fighting these bigger guys there. How is that going to look? So I don't know. It'll be a fantasy fight that we all would love to see, but at the end of the day, I just don't know if that's where you want to go with it. I don't know. Y'all put it in the comment section and let me know how you feel about a Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fight, and how should it be done? Should he move up 3 weight divisions to go and see Canelo, or should they fight at a catch weight? Y'all put in the comment section and let me know how y'all feel about that. Okay.
Subscribe now and make Ring Kings Boxing your source for all the latest fight news.